going to do, it's pretty simple actually, because I don't want them to be too close to each other, but I don't want them to be too far either. So I'm going to plant them probably about half an inch away from each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little hole with my finger. Oops, sorry guys, can't see that. Make a little hole with my finger. And I'm going to it's just going to be big enough to kind of put these roots in. And I'm going to hold onto my plant and kind of close it up around it. So now I have transplanted one of my plants. See? There he is. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do it again so you guys can definitely see how I did this. Going to plant this right here. Just going to put that root in there and start kind of spiraling around. And then I'm going to cover up this plant. Here we go. He looks perky and happy now. Now, I haven't had any problems, and I already did this earlier with my other cup of Butter Crunch lettuce that I had. And I haven't had any problems with the shock or anything that I went into from being transplanted. So, you know, they're doing pretty well. They're actually really, really happy where they're at. So I'm happy too, because that means I'm gonna get lots of lettuce. And I do like lettuce, so I don't know if my husband has ever ate a Butter Crunch lettuce. Wonder if he'll like it. So, but yeah, that is pretty simple. You know, it's not too hard. You just put your finger in there and make a little hole, and then put your plant in there and your little seedling, and kind of cover it up and make sure it has some room, you know, to kind of make sure they're kind of standing up a little. I don't want them flopping over on the side or anything. So I'm actually going to plant as many of these as I can in here, and the ones that I can't get in here, I'm going to give to the next door neighbors. I already gave some to my downstairs neighbors. Gave about 6 of those to them. So I'm going to give some more over to my neighbors right beside me. I live in a 4-plex, by the way. So, and I'm having a lot of fun. I don't have the yard to plant things, but you know, I'm improvising and I'm using all these containers, and they work just as well, guys. They really do. You don't have to go out there, and you don't have to have a yard. It is so simple with container gardening. Actually, I think it's a lot easier because, you know, you have access right here. You can move it around. But that is pretty much how I transplant my lettuce. And I wanted to show you guys too, a lot of people that have watering cans and they water your plants, especially seedlings, and new seeds and stuff like that. I just want to tell you, sometimes you guys have you guys ever had the problem where you just pour it in and you try to pour it in slow, but for some reason it just splashes in there and your seeds start flying everywhere, you know? And I really, really hate that. That's the only thing I don't like about these, because I could never get it to trickle to where it will just lightly flow out and not mess up my seeds. So what I did is I have a smart bottle. So I got this big thing over at Walmart. They sell them, and they're in a longer bottle than usual. And what I did was I unscrewed it and I put holes. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I put holes in the top of here to act as a watering can. Now I use this little gadget right here. It has a sharp point on it. If you're a kid, I don't recommend you doing this. I recommend you getting a parent or somebody that takes care of this and pokes the holes in here, or you can use a drill bit or something like that, like a small drill bit. That would be awesome too. Maybe a small nail or something, like and a hammer to kind of like hammer it in there and put holes in there. But please be careful when you're trying to put the holes in here, because I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'm sure nobody else wants you to hurt yourself, so just be very careful when you're doing it. And what I do is I screw the top back on and I use it as a watering can. I'm going to show you how it works. Like, these little guys need some water now, so I'm going to spray some water. As you can see, it's kind of like rain. It's like you can see the soil is not moving whatsoever. It's just kind of like sinking in there. So I kind of recommend this way when you're first starting off with seeds and stuff like that. Recommend it watering it with this method, because I've noticed whenever I water with a watering can, it kind of just dumps it out all at once, and it kind of makes the seeds. It kind of makes the seeds fly everywhere in the soil, and they could possibly get pushed farther down into the soil, or it will be like my spinach seed and kind of go off to the side. And I planted this sucker in the middle, and as you can see, when I went to go pour it, a little bit more came out than I wanted, and it pushed it God knows where at the time, because you can't see where the seeds are, and it finally sprouted over this way. So I was kind of shocked. But it still grew, so I'm not complaining. And I just wanted to make a better method to where I didn't have to worry about me doing that to my seeds or causing issues with them. So this is a awesome way to go ahead and do that, like without the soil, like disturbing the soil that much. Okay, they had a good rain. I hope you guys found that very educational for you guys. And just to tell you what I use, I don't use regular water. What I use is a supercharged compost tea. It is a little bit more advanced than the regular compost tea, and I'll probably be doing a video about that a little bit later on. But this stuff works awesome. It's really been good on my plants, and I have noticed a difference in how quick they sprout. I hope you guys like this video, and I guess I'll see you soon.